My name is Roger Allen Healy. I was born in Murray, Utah, a suburb of Salt Lake, on April the 1st, 1948. My mother was a stay-at-home mom. My father worked in a hardware store as a wholesale buyer. In my community, life was very easygoing. As a child, I went to school all the time. I got into bicycles as well. I always used my bicycle to go wherever I wanted to go. When I wanted to play baseball with my friends, I had to ride my bicycle for about 8 miles. I loved to fish. I remember I would ride my bicycle early mornings up East Mill Creek Canyon to go fishing. The fish I caught I would bring home, and my mom would cook them for breakfast. At the time I turned 14, the Vietnam War was going on, and the draft was on. When I was 18, my assigned lottery number was 33, which was very low, so I submitted myself to the draft. I took both the written and physical test. Surprisingly, I failed my physical and was put out the door and told that my services weren't needed in the military. After I took that same test to my private doctor and asked him what was wrong with me if I needed surgery. When he examined me, he didn't find anything wrong. Since the military rejected me, I went to Ricks College in Idaho. After that, I spent 2 years in Ricks College and then served for 2 years on a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in England. When I returned, I began attending the University of Utah. I received a Bachelor of Science in Physical Education. I was also working at a health spa at the same time I was attending school. At the spa, I met a lot of people who were in the National Guard. They would come to the spa after their duty. They invited me to come and see what the Guard was all about. Since I was a patriotic person, I went with them. I explained to them my situation of being given a 4F classification in the military. I also explained to them that my private doctor was not able to find anything wrong with me. They talked to me about serving in the Guard for 6 years. They also told me there were different units to pick from, but what really caught my attention was the medical unit. Because I was very patriotic and I felt I needed to pay my country back. Later I decided to join the National Guard of Utah in what was called the 144th Evacuation Hospital, and I was put there as a basic corpsman in September of '69. The following January, I was sent to basic training at Fort Lewis, Washington. It was a very big training base at the time. There were a lot of battalion and brigades doing basic training. Basic training for me was physically easy. I didn't have any problems with that because of my sports background. I applied to become an officer and was selected to attend OCS. I qualified as a medical services officer and cross-qualified as an infantry officer. After 15 years in Special Forces, I decided I would finish my service in the medical field. In the military, I realized that I had a privileged life. I've always had good meals, protection, and education. However, when I got there, I made some friends that for them, sleeping in clean wet sheets was something new. Some of them never had 3 meals a day. Those experiences made me appreciate our country even more. In 1984, because of my Special Forces and medical background, I was put as the commander of the Field Medical Training Site in Panama. My job was to hold the equipment for medical units that would deploy out of the States to Latin America. They would go to the host nations under USAID funding and provide medical support in conjunction with the local military. Our mission was to show their military how to support their country and to take care of their citizens. We would go to remote areas and help the native people. There was one experience that I remember. This experience happened in a high mountain town in Guatemala. In this town, the locals didn't have any medical care. We went to provide medical assistance to them. we would only ask the local government to provide security for us. In the village, we would treat the people for a 10-day period. About 2 weeks after we had left the village, a band of guerrilla fighters that opposed the government took over the village. They rounded up all the males of the village and took them off into the mountains. 2 days later, they were found decapitated. That was the guerrilla signal to these people that you don't have the American or Guatemalan military to protect your village. We own you. I left the service in January of 1997. I applied to become a junior ROTC instructor. They said, okay, you're hired as soon as you leave the service. 6 days after I retired, I was teaching at McLean High School. As part of my military career, I spent almost 3 years as a senior ROTC instructor at the University of Utah. That's how I got introduced to the junior ROTC. I've always looked forward to the day I retired to obtain a junior ROTC job. I have always felt a great passion for helping the young people. I think that every student comes with what I call baggage, which means that even though they all have these problems or baggage in their lives, they still get their diploma, and that is so rewarding to me. I think that I can be a piece of what keeps them in school, helping them find success when they are not successful. I want them to realize their potential to make money and not get stuck in poverty, to not accept bad things in their lives, that there are good things in life that can happen to them, and that they have the power to change those. What I expect from students after they leave the McLean Junior ROTC program is that they are proud to be a Highlander, and that their experience here was worth it. I hope that they feel prepared to face the world, both academically and socially. I plan to be a junior ROTC instructor as long as my health will let me. I've been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to teach. My motivation for coming every day to teach is because, in a sense, I have fallen in love with McLean. When I first got here, I knew there were some real golden nuggets, and my job was to find them and to help them. It's an avocation of mine, not a vocation. I just love it. It's a great pleasure to do this job.